I trusted my older brother with the down payment for my first home. He promised to handle everything. But on move-in day, I found a stranger living there. He had sold it and disappeared. My mother said, "You should have known better." I did. That's why I had recorded every call. When the lawyer heard them, he said we could. I never thought my own brother would be the reason I ended up sitting in my car, staring at a house I thought was mine, while some stranger stood inside living the life I was supposed to have. My name's Daniel, 34 years old, from Columbus, Ohio. I work in IT for a small logistics company. I've been there for almost 10 years. I'm not rich, but I've worked hard, saved every bonus, skipped vacations, ate cheap, and lived with a roommate well past the point most adults would. All to save up for a down payment on my first home. That home was supposed to be in Grove City. Quiet neighborhood. One-story house, 3 bedrooms, with a brick chimney, and a small backyard that I dreamed of putting a grill in. It wasn't perfect, but it was mine. Or at least I thought it was. The reason I lost it? My older brother Marty. Marty's 5 years older than me. Growing up, he was the loud one, always getting into something. He had this way of talking that made people trust him. I used to think it was a gift. Now I know it's just manipulation. Our mom always made excuses for him. "He's just figuring things out," she used to say. "Not everyone's meant to live by the rules." Well, he figured out how to steal from his own brother. It started when I told him I was looking to buy a house. He lit up like I just handed him a job offer. "You know I've done real estate, right?" he said. "I can help you skip the BS. I got connections. Lenders, title people, inspectors. Real deal stuff. Family discount, bro." I hesitated. He'd had a messy past, fired from a few jobs, weird investments. That never worked out, but he seemed serious this time. He said he was clean, sober, trying to build something real. I wanted to believe him. I really did. He told me he'd walk me through the process. That I didn't need to worry about shady agents or high commission fees. He'd handle the paperwork. All I had to do was find a house I liked and get the money ready. And I did. It was a small place listed for $248,000. I had $58,000 saved. Enough for a solid down payment. I'd already talked to a mortgage broker. Everything was lining up. Marty told me to wire him the down payment directly so he could lock in the deal fast. He said, "We're gonna put the offer in cash first to beat the other buyers, then fold your mortgage in during escrow. Trust me. It's how the pros do it." That didn't sound right to me, but he was so confident. He even showed me emails and texts from the supposed seller. I didn't ask too many questions because he was my brother. I kept telling myself that. So I wired it. $58,000. Gone from my savings account into what he said was his escrow partner's account. Then I waited. A few days later, he sent me pictures of the house with a sold sign in front. He said we were almost done with closing. "Don't worry about signing anything yet," he said. "I've got your power of attorney." "You signed that form, remember?" I had signed some document he gave me to speed things up. I didn't read it carefully. I trusted him. Weeks went by. He said things were delayed because of the title office, then blamed the bank, then the seller's lawyer. But finally, he texted, "Keys will be under the mat. Move in this Saturday. Welcome to homeownership, little bro." I was so damn excited. I rented a U-Haul. My buddy Greg helped me load up my stuff. My roommate hugged me goodbye. I drove to the house with everything I owned. But there was a red car in the driveway. At first I thought maybe Marty had come early to drop something off. But when I knocked, a man I didn't know opened the door. I still remember his exact words. "Can I help you?" I told him. "Yeah, I'm supposed to move in today." He just looked confused. "This is my house," he said. "I closed on it 3 weeks ago. You've got the wrong place." I thought I was being pranked. I told him who I was. I gave the address. I even showed him the text from Marty. He let me come in and see his paperwork. Title, deed, closing docs. It was all legit. He even had photos of the day he moved in. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I called Marty. Straight to voicemail. I texted him. Nothing. I drove to the address where he'd been staying with a girlfriend. She said he left town 2 days ago. Didn't say where. Just packed a bag and vanished. My stomach dropped. I was starting to realize what had happened. I called my mom. Told her everything. She paused, then said, "Well, you should have known better. That's your brother." That broke me. Not just what she said, but how she said it. Like it was just some annoying thing, like I lost a jacket, not my future. I didn't sleep that night. But the next morning, I remembered something. I work in IT. I've had to deal with shady vendors, bad clients, people lying to cover their tracks. Years ago, I got in the habit of recording calls where I needed a paper trail. So I checked. And yep, I had every call with Marty backed up. All saved in a secure folder. In Ohio, only one person has to consent to record a call. That person was me. I started listening to them, one by one. They were worse than I remembered. He literally said things like, "Just wire the money to this account. I'm handling the title and deed. The seller is on board. I've got full power of attorney for you, it's all legal. Don't loop in the mortgage broker yet. It'll complicate things. Trust me." I had hours of this. Him lying, manipulating, pretending to be helping me, all while stealing from me. I called my old college roommate Eric. He's a lawyer now. We hadn't talked much in years, but I explained what happened. He told me to come to his office and bring everything. So I did. We sat in a small glass room, and I played the calls. He listened with his arms crossed, not saying a word. Then he leaned back and said, "He's screwed. This is federal. Wire fraud. Fraud by deception. If we report this, he's looking at real prison time." I asked him, "Do you think we'll get the money back?" He said, "If he hasn't spent it all, maybe. But that's the tricky part." Then he leaned forward again and said, "But if you want revenge? We can start with that." I asked what he meant. Eric grinned. "We don't go to the cops yet. First, we find him. We put pressure. And we make him sweat." Eric had a plan. "I'll file a civil suit," he said. "Fraud, breach of fiduciary duty, everything. It'll freeze any assets in his name once it's processed." "But if he ran, how do we find him?" I asked. Eric nodded. "We'll need to get creative. He's probably using someone else's name or hiding under the table. But people like your brother always make mistakes. Especially when they think they've gotten away with it." He wasn't wrong. We started digging. Eric got a private investigator involved. A guy named Alvarez, retired sheriff's deputy who now tracks down deadbeats and scammers. He wasn't cheap, but Eric fronted the costs. "Don't worry," Eric told me. "When we win, we'll make him pay it all back." Alvarez started with Marty's bank account. The one I wired the money to had been emptied 2 days after the transfer. That was around the time he vanished. But the dumbass had moved the money through a bank registered under a limited liability company, an LLC Marty created under his name just 2 months before I wired him the money. He'd planned this. That hit hard. It wasn't a panic move or a mistake. He'd set me up like a mark. We also found out he hadn't gone far. He was still in Ohio. He was living under a fake name in a short-term rental outside of Dayton. Alvarez tracked him through a utility account he stupidly opened with an old email linked to his real phone number. Rookie mistake. Eric wanted to go straight to the police. But I wanted more. I didn't just want him arrested. I wanted him exposed. He took my money, my trust, my future, and he didn't even look back. So I came up with something. See, Marty loved attention. Always had. He was always posting on social media, trying to look like he was doing better than he was. Even under a fake name, he couldn't resist showing off. His new alias was Mark Danner, and under that name, he was trying to sell real estate seminars in Dayton. Selling fake dreams to strangers, just like he sold me. He even had a cheap website, business cards, the whole act. So we hit him where it hurt. I created a fake persona. Chris Malone, an investor from Columbus looking for a mentor to help me build a real estate empire. I emailed him through his website. Told him I had a small inheritance. Wanted to flip houses fast. Needed someone who could guide me. He replied within an hour. We set up a meeting at a restaurant in Dayton, public place. I told him I'd bring proof of funds and a list of questions. He said, "Sounds perfect. Looking forward to doing business." What he didn't know was that I'd be walking in with Alvarez and a hidden camera. The day of the meeting, I wore a ball cap and glasses. Alvarez went in first and took a table nearby. Marty was already there. Hair slicked back, sunglasses on the table, talking like he was king of the world. I walked in and sat down across from him. He looked up, smiling. Then his face froze. I let a few seconds pass. "Hey, Marty," I said quietly. "Long time." His eyes darted around. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Oh, I think you do." I pulled out my phone. Opened a photo of the wire receipt. The emails. The house. Then hit play on a short clip from one of our recorded calls. His face strained. People nearby started glancing over. He whispered, "What the hell are you doing?" "I know about the LLC. The fake sale. The wire transfer. The power of attorney you forged." He opened his mouth, then closed it. "You're done," I said. "This isn't just a civil suit anymore. This is criminal. And if you think I won't go all the way, you don't know me at all." Alvarez came over and dropped a folder on the table, full of evidence. He didn't say a word. Just stared at Marty like a cop staring down a perp. "You'll be hearing from our lawyer by the end of the week," I said. "And if you disappear again, I'll send the tapes straight to the DA. You'll be in cuffs before you hit I-70. Marty didn't say a word. He just stared at me, breathing hard. His hand twitched toward the folder, but Alvarez put his hand over it. We got up and walked out. As soon as we hit the parking lot, I turned to Alvarez. "Think he'll run again?" Alvarez smiled. "Let him. He's already boxed in." 2 days later, Eric filed the lawsuit. Fraud, civil theft, breach of fiduciary duty, misrepresentation, the whole thing. We attached every recording, text, and wire receipt. And then Eric filed a lease pendens on the LLC account. Basically froze it. Marty couldn't touch a cent. But here's the twist. A few days later, Marty's girlfriend, his new girlfriend, called me. Her name was Tessa. She said she'd been living with him for a month. He told her he was a real estate guru who came from nothing. Said he was helping struggling families buy homes. She found out the truth after we met at the restaurant. She said he freaked out. Started drinking again. Got violent. She left him. And she gave me his laptop. "I figured you might need this," she said. The laptop was a goldmine. Old messages, PDFs, spreadsheets. He didn't even bother encrypting anything. Like he thought no one would ever catch him. Or maybe he didn't care. Eric and I sat in his office and went through it piece by piece. It was worse than we thought. There were folders labeled with names, people he'd helped. Some of them had scanned IDs, signed documents, wiring instructions. Many of them looked just like me, regular people, working class, some even older. There were 6 total victims that we could identify right away. One was a retired couple in Lancaster. Another was a single mom in Dayton. One guy had even sent $80,000. Marty had been running the same scam, over and over. Promise a quick sale, fast-track the process, ask for a wire transfer, then disappear. Change phone numbers, change names, move to a new city. And the worst part? Most of the victims hadn't gone public. Some had been embarrassed. Others never found him again. One guy even thought he had made the mistake. Eric stared at the screen and said, "We're not just dealing with theft anymore. This is a criminal enterprise." He was right. So we went bigger. Eric got in touch with the Ohio Attorney General's office. He told them we had multiple victims, physical evidence, call recordings, fake LLC paperwork, even the suspect's location. They took it seriously. Within 2 weeks, Marty was under official investigation. A task force was formed. They interviewed me, Tessa, the other victims we were able to find. Every single one had a similar story. He'd been running this scam for years. But Marty didn't know that yet. He thought I was just one angry brother with a lawyer. So he sent me a letter. It showed up in my mailbox, handwritten, no return address. It read, "Danny, I know you're mad, but I had to do what I did. I'm not built for the 9-to-5 life. You've always followed the rules. I don't. I never will. Just let it go. It's only money. You'll bounce back. We're brothers. Don't ruin your life chasing mine." I sat at my kitchen table reading it over and over again. I don't think I'd ever hated anyone more than I hated him in that moment. But I didn't yell. I didn't scream. I gave the letter to Eric and the AG. And then I made one more move. I created a public blog. I called it The House He Stole. I wrote everything. Every detail. Every lie. I uploaded screenshots, call audio, fake documents. I kept names and addresses private for legal reasons, but I told the story start to finish. It went viral in 3 days. Other victims came out of nowhere. People I'd never met emailed me saying, "This happened to me too. I thought I was alone." We made a group. A real one. A support group of victims, 8 of us at first. Then 12. Some had been silent for years. Eric used the momentum to push for felony charges. The AG's office got search warrants, frozen accounts, even pulled in the FBI's cyber fraud division. Because Marty didn't just use emails, he used fake websites and interstate wire transfers. That meant federal charges were now on the table. And guess what? The IRS got wind too. Turns out Marty hadn't filed taxes on any of that stolen money. Not a single cent. So now the feds wanted their piece. Then something strange happened. I got a call from a blocked number. I let it go to voicemail. It was Marty. He sounded broken. "Danny, I need help. I messed up. They're after me. I can't sleep. I can't breathe. Can we talk?" I didn't call back. Instead, I forwarded the voicemail to the AG's office. They said, "We're close. Don't engage. Let us handle it." But part of me wanted to meet him. Part of me wanted to look him in the eye one last time before everything came crashing down. So I did something reckless. I texted him from a burner phone. Told him to meet me at a rest stop just south of Springfield, 9 p.m., no cops. He replied, "I'll be there." Eric wasn't happy. "If you go, you're going alone. You understand that?" I nodded. "Don't try to play games with him," he said. "He's dangerous." "I'm not playing games," I said. "I just want to see how far he's fallen." That night, I parked my car under a broken light. I waited 15 minutes. Then I saw his car pull up, a beat-up black Hyundai. He looked terrible. Unshaven. Pale. Eyes twitching like he hadn't slept in days. He walked up to me slow, like I might hit him. "You win," he said. I didn't say anything. I got nothing left. They froze my accounts. Tessa ratted me out. The feds called my old landlord. My name's trash everywhere. I stayed quiet. He looked at me desperate. "You happy now?" "No," I said. "Not yet." His face dropped. I'm not the only one you stole from, Marty. I'm just the one who hit back. He stepped closer. So what, you want me in prison? That it? I didn't answer. He laughed bitterly. Figures. You always loved your rules. Your little systems. I stared him down. At least I didn't ruin people's lives to feel important. Then headlights lit up the parking lot. Unmarked cars. 3 of them. Agents got out fast. Marty turned too late. Hands up! They shouted. He tried to run. Didn't get far. They tackled Marty hard. Face down on the pavement, screaming. It was the first time I'd ever seen him truly scared. Not fake scared, not caught in a lie. Scared, real fear. The kind that comes when you know there's no way out. They cuffed him and read his rights. He was charged that night. Wire fraud. Bank fraud. Identity theft. Tax evasion. Real estate fraud. 18 charges total, 7 federal, 11 state. He was denied bail. They called him a flight risk. Which was true, he'd already disappeared once. The trial came 6 months later. It was public. I sat in the front row every single day. So did the other victims. 17 of them by then. All different ages, backgrounds, stories. All scammed by Marty in the same way. When they called me to the stand, I told the truth. No big speech. Just the facts. I told the jury how I trusted my brother. How I gave him $58,000, every cent I'd saved in 10 years. How he lied, forged papers, and vanished. How I recorded every call, every promise, every excuse. The recordings hit hard in court. People in the jury looked disgusted. Some actually gasped. Then came the evidence from his laptop. The spreadsheets, names, stolen money. Emails with forged signatures. Fake escrow files. The prosecutor played voicemail messages. One from a single mother crying, saying she couldn't pay rent because she'd given Marty her savings. Another from an older man who sold his classic car to make the down payment. The courtroom was silent. Marty didn't even look up. He tried to blame everything on addiction, childhood trauma. A messed up system. His lawyer begged for sympathy. Said prison would destroy him. But the jury didn't buy it. They found him guilty on all counts. The judge sentenced him to 32 years in federal prison. No chance of parole for at least 25. I didn't cheer. I didn't smile. I just stared at him as they took him away. He didn't meet my eyes. But that wasn't the end. After sentencing, the court allowed us to go after his frozen assets. Turns out, Marty hadn't spent it all. He had around $210,000 sitting in various accounts, hidden under fake names and shell companies. We split it among the victims. Not all of us got everything back, but most of us got close. I recovered $49,500. Not the full $58,000 I lost, but enough to start over. The house I wanted was long gone, but I found another one. Smaller, older, not perfect, but this time, I handled every step myself. Paid attention to every document, every line, every signature. When I got the keys, I stood in the living room for 10 minutes, just breathing. It wasn't about the house anymore. It was about standing back up. As for my mom, she never once apologized. After the trial, she left me a voicemail. You didn't have to destroy him like that. He's still your brother. I didn't reply. A week later, she showed up at my house. I didn't let her in. I told her through the screen door. I'm done making excuses for people who hurt me. She walked away. We haven't spoken since. And honestly, that's okay. Sometimes family isn't who you're born with. It's who shows up when you're broken. Greg, Eric, Alvarez, the victims I met, they were my real support. They helped me turn my worst moment into something bigger than revenge. It became justice. A year later, I gave a speech at a real estate fraud conference. I told my story to a room full of agents, lawyers, and first-time buyers. I ended with this. If someone you love tells you to trust them with everything, don't. Make them earn it. Even if it's your brother. Especially if it's your brother. They gave me a standing ovation. But that's not what mattered. What mattered was knowing I didn't just survive what he did. I ended it. For good. And Marty? Last I heard, he's working in the prison laundry room. No phones. No email. No power. Just silence. Exactly where he belongs.